everyone, welcome back to Stella Rose Bella, where I talk about the latest Asian drama, music, and shows. So, a lot of dramas have been coming out like recently, a lot at the same time. So, y'all probably know about it. It is the Sword and Fairy 4 and 6. So, 仙剑4 and also 奇经招. These are the two names. And let's get into it. So if y'all don't know, these two dramas are based off of a video game called 仙剑奇侠传. And this video game, I've never played it. So I'm going to talk about who's in it first. So 仙剑4 has Chen Zhiyuan and Zhu Jingyi. And Chen Zhiyuan, he plays a character named Yun Tianhe, who is someone that has never left. So he doesn't really know much about the real world. He's never met anyone outside of his dad, other than his dad and the pig demon. So Zhu Jingyi, she plays Han Lixia. She comes from a Tomb Raider family, and because of that, her family for generations, they don't live that long. And she goes to where Tianhe lives because she needs that sword, and in exchange she would get a medicine that could help her cousin. So that's basically them. In Qi Jingzhao, Yu Shuxing, she plays Qi, and she is a fish, and her mission is like the reason why she's born basically is because she is sort of like all of humanity, and like saving the world is all like on her. She is the one that's going to like save everyone based on the gist of what I've seen so far. Xu Kai, he plays her shifu, but also Yue Jingzhao. And Yue Jingzhao is basically someone that her shifu created, so he looks like him. And like I guess the purpose of him is basically to help Qi and like protect her in a way. These are the characters in both of these dramas. So both of these dramas, in a way, they're very similar because in the Sword and Fairy 4, Tianhe doesn't really know much about his parents, so he's on this journey with his friends, obviously, and he goes and wants to find out more about what his parents did, and like, he's like, my dad is innocent and he didn't do all these bad things that you guys are saying. And so you get to learn more and more about his parents and what they do in that drama, in that story. And for the Sword and Fairy 6, Qi and Jingzhao, I feel like for them, it's also they have, they go on this journey and they meet all these friends as well. And like Qi doesn't really know much about like her identity, and like you probably as the story goes, she will learn more about like who she is, what her purpose is. And obviously there's both of these stories have like this growth journey on these characters as well, and also with like their friendship and their group basically. So that's like sort of like the gist of what I have so far, up to what I've seen so far. So character wise and actor wise basically, I feel like in the beginning, for I know that like the Sword and Fairy 4th aired before, like a day before Sword and Fairy 6th, and these two like platforms, I don't really know what's going on. But basically, I feel like for me, I wasn't really into the Sword and Fairy 4th because of Zhu Jingyi. The last drama that I watched her in was called The Blooms at Rui Pavilion. That was like the last drama I saw her in. And then after that, I don't know, I just didn't really see her work. And so I was like, do I really want to see this? I watched this drama because of Chen Zhiyuan, and I've always been a fan of his. And when I was watching this character that he portrays, like Tianhe here, I was like, it's very similar to a character that he played before. So I was like, is this gonna be different, But as for Sword and Fairy 6, like, I know that some people on the internet, there are people that didn't like her voice, but for me, because I've seen her like she dubs her own voice in dramas. And because I've seen 小兰花, like her character in 小兰花, and also like 云之羽, like that drama as well, and like how she talks, and I was like, oh wow, like I can see the change in her voice, and like I guess I can see like her voice and how it changes and how you know, the character and everything. So I was totally fine with it. As for Shu Kai, I feel like his, like when you see him as Shifu, like he's wearing the mask, I thought of the other drama that he was in, like 千古绝城. I could be wrong. But the one with Zhou Dongyu, that drama, I was like, no, is this like master, like Shifu and like student? I was like, again, no. So the difference in these two dramas, as I sort of mentioned earlier, in Sword and Fairy 4, you see that Tianhe, like on his way to like Chonghua, the sect that he's gonna be in, people basically don't like his dad and saying that his dad betrayed the sect and everything like that. And I have to say, like, it's sort of like you see the hardship and everything that you see, and I, like, you know, that he will go through. But for me, I think like one thing that got me like sort of like, I was like, I'm done with this drama, like for one moment, is when Ling Sha was like, oh, like oh, there's this like secret entryway and everything. He's like, no, don't go in there. Like he's like, that's my parents, you know, like their coffin and everything, like the tombstone and everything is like there. And I was like, what are you doing? I was so mad already. I was like, and but one thing that really got me into watching the drama, like till now, not only because of his parents' storyline, but I think like I see like Tianhe's, not because he's like optimistic and like, you in the beginning I would say I was like, oh, he's so naive, like this girl's lying to him, and like, how can he not see this? But before everything, she like later, like Ling Sha tells like Tianhe, like, oh, I was lying to you, the reason why I am actually, you know, like with you and wanting to go with you and everything on this journey is for your sword in exchange for medicine to save my cousin's, you know, life basically. And so basically after he said that, he like knew before he, like she told him that, didn't like say anything to her because he's like, oh, you must have your reasons. I was like, okay, fine. But then the second thing was, he's like, okay, this is just a sword. Like, I know a lot of people want this sword, okay? But your sister, your cousin's life is much more important. You know, it's a life, much more important than the sword. So I was like, oh, okay. So that, like, that really got me for this drama. But as for the Sword and Fairy 6, I feel like from the way in the beginning, because you know that she is sort of like, I don't know, they put her on this journey, this mortal, like going to the mortal world and sort of like train her and sort of like she has to find her purpose in like knowing who she is and like what her purpose is. I don't know. It really focuses a lot on the relationship between like between her Shifu and Jing Zhao and her in a way a bit, but also like their friend relationship as well, and like they have like another like love like relationship as well, like a love story. So I was like, ah, so much about the love story. So I was like, there's not much that I can say about this drama right now. Even though production wise, I was like, oh, I can see the difference in production. But then for story wise, I would say right now I'm leaning more towards Sword and Fairy 4. Sword and Fairy 6, yes, it looks really nice and everything. But then the story right now, I think I'm like, what am I trying, you know, like what is this character? What can they give me? You know, and I think that's what I'm hoping for in the drama later, but I don't know, but because it's still early in the drama for Sword and Fairy 6. Key-wise, if y'all notice, if you guys looked at the list of the OST for the two dramas, for Sword and Fairy 6, they found what I've seen so far, like Zhang Yunjing and JS, who sang OSTs for the previous 仙剑奇侠传 dramas. So I was like, they found, like they sang for this drama, and I listened to it. You could find it on YouTube. I listened to it, and I love this song. It's so good, and I was just like, Oh, their voices. It does bring back nostalgia because even though I've never watched the previous, dramas, their voices brings these like feelings back, and I was like, it's, their voices only, only they could do it. So that's what I have to say. Anyways, let me know what y'all think of the two dramas so far. Leave a comment below, like which one you like, what your favorite character or your favorite scene is, and I'll see you in the next video.